welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cherise. I'm also known as Nichelle, and this is where I share my journey of healing, growth, and a little bit of everything in between. So, on today's episode, we'll be diving into how childhood trauma affects the brain, the body, and relationships. So, if you're ever wondering why trauma lingers so long after the event has happened and certain patterns show up in your life, then this episode is for you. So let's get into it. So, first, I want to cover how trauma affects the brain. When we experience childhood trauma, our brains adapt in ways meant to protect us, but those adaptations do not always serve us well in adulthood. So, let's break it down. The amygdala is the fear center of the brain, and trauma makes it hyperactive. This means we can be on constant high alert, always scanning for danger, even when there is none. Then we have the prefrontal cortex. This part controls reasoning and decision making, but trauma can weaken it. That's why we might struggle with emotional regulation or impulsive decisions. And then lastly, we have the hippocampus. This is where we process memories, but trauma can shrink it, and that can lead to memory issues or troubles distinguishing past threats from present reality. This is why triggers can feel so overwhelming. Our brain literally rewires itself to survive the trauma, and a lot of times we get stuck in survival mode. I know for me, I can say that I've struggled with memory loss, especially from high school. I still hang out with a lot of my high school friends, and a lot of times they share stories, and some stories I do remember, but a lot of that stuff I don't remember. And high school was truly, even though I had been being abused since 9, it got even worse the older I got. And so that was truly some of the most traumatic years of my life. And my brain suppressed those memories to survive. And the older I've gotten, and of course, going through my healing journey, this is something that I've learned and been able to connect the dots on. So it's just interesting how our brain works to protect us. Trauma doesn't just stay within our minds, it lives within our bodies. You may have heard of fight or flight or freeze or fawn. So, here are some ways that trauma can show up physically. First, you have chronic stress. This can lead to hypervigilance and overexhaustion. And then you have digestive issues. Our brains and our guts are connected. So this can lead to IBS and other stomach issues. Now, just not to put y'all in my business in the bathroom too much, but before I started on this journey, I was going to the bathroom to do number two, maybe once or twice a week. And no matter what I ate, what I've changed in my diet, any type of supplements, like it didn't work. And it wasn't until I would say the past few years when I've really, you know, overcome my trauma that I have been able to go to the bathroom regular. So it's just very, again, interesting how our bodies react to this trauma. Next, we have muscle tension. Your body holds in a lot of stress. So you might have a lot of tight muscles, back aches, just pains that you cannot explain. And then lastly, we have hormonal imbalance. So PCOS, acne, irregular cycles, hormones, having large gut areas, is which is caused by higher cortisol levels. So again, these are ways that trauma shows up in our bodies physically. Childhood trauma can shape the way we connect with others, oftentimes without us even realize it. And this is how they show up. So first, you have your attachment wounds. If you grew up in an unsafe environment, you may either develop an anxious attachment, an avoidant attachment, or disorganized attachment. Me, myself, I was severely anxious attached. If I didn't hear from my partner or even somebody I was dating, it wouldn't even necessarily get to the partner part. But if I wouldn't hear from them for a certain amount of time, or if we got in a disagreement, I would automatically think, oh, this is it. They're going to stop talking to me. That person no longer exists. I don't give a damn if you stop talking to me. um, then we have difficulty trusting people. So it makes it harder to form these relationships, form these bonds, because, from your core age as a child, you haven't been protected and you've had issues. So it's hard. How can you trust a stranger when you've been harmed by somebody close to you that you're supposed to trust and is supposed to protect you? Then you have people pleasing or codependency, which is something I also used to struggle from, where I would overcompensate in relationships or friendships, out of the sake of wanting to be accepted, wanting to be loved, and feeling as though, well, if I show up and do this, then they won't want to cut me off, or they won't want to not be bothered with me, or just, it could be many other reasons. And then also on the codependency side, not really wanting to do things alone, because I need another person to be safe. That person no longer exists. I will go out to eat and get a table at a restaurant by myself now. Before, I would have never. And then lastly, you have fear of abandonment, as well as problems with intimacy. So it makes it hard to connect with people again and to get close with people, because your fear of people walking out of your life and leaving you, it makes you not want to join those, and it makes you not want to develop those connections, because it's like, well, if they're just going to walk out of my life, then what's the point? But good news, everyone. Awareness is the first step. Healing is possible, and you are not broken. Now, it will take some time, but you can rewire your brain, calm your nervous system, and build healthy relationships with people. So, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what I've done about it, and hopefully, these are some tips that can help you as well. So, first off, we have therapy. I am a huge advocate for therapy. Go talk to the lady. I don't mean your best friend, your mama, your auntie, your cousin. I mean, granted, you can talk to them too, because we do need a support system of people that, again, support us and love us and are going to help encourage you on this journey. But you also need to seek professional help. And they have different types of therapy that can assist with rewiring your brain and processing the trauma, such as EMDR and somatic therapy. So that's something that has helped me, because my therapist, when I first started this journey, she did some EMDR techniques with me, and it helped me to unpack the trauma from a certain part of my brain and store it in a place where it goes to where I'm not triggered by certain things. So that has been something that has been helpful for me. Another thing that has been helpful is meditating, going to yoga, journaling, just things to calm my nervous system, to help regulate that, becoming more in tune with my body and my mind. And then also reparenting yourself, giving yourself the love and care that you didn't receive. Everybody knows me. I am the self care queen. I will do a massage, a spa day, anything to help me feel loved and cared for. And then also just showing up for myself in all ways, always. That's been a huge point in my healing for me. And then also, you want to have boundaries. Boundaries are hard, especially when you're a people pleaser, but you'll learn that without them, people will run right over you and take advantage, and then you'll have nothing left of yourself. So, boundaries are very important. And just also giving yourself compassion, meeting yourself where you are at on your journey. Again, it's healing is not linear. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and just take everything as they come and go with the flow. And then lastly, I would say the most important is having community and relationship with people that exhibit that type of love that you give to yourself. You are going to lose friends, family, people that you thought would be in your life for the rest of your life. I will say that. And it is very hard to let go of people that are familiar. But if it's not serving you, then you're doing more harm for yourself than good. So these are some ways that you can take this next step into your healing journey. So I know firsthand how overwhelming trauma can feel, and I also know that healing is real because I've healed and I'm better than ever. So know that you are not your past and you are not alone in this. So if this video has resonated with you, please leave a message down in the comments. I would love to know what are some things or in some ways that you have healed and what's helped you on your journey. And then, as always, like, subscribe, and share. But that is all that I have for you guys today. So until next time, stay strong, be happy, and enjoy life. Bye, guys. Take care.